Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, memories replaying like a broken record, every what if and if only looping endlessly in your mind? For many seniors and adults over 50, overthinking the past is more than occasional reflection. It can become a constant, exhausting companion. Every decision, every missed opportunity, every moment of regret seems to take on a weight far heavier than it did in real time. Overthinking is not just a habit. It's a way the brain processes uncertainty, loss, and unresolved emotions. Seniors often look back on decades of life, noticing patterns, mistakes, and moments they wish had gone differently. This reflection can be insightful, but when it becomes repetitive and intrusive, it can lead to rumination, the psychological tendency to focus excessively on negative experiences or what could have been. In this video, we will explore the psychology of seniors who overthink the past, examining the mental and emotional mechanisms behind rumination, the cognitive patterns that reinforce it, and how attachment styles, life experiences, and memory processing in older adults make reflection both powerful and potentially overwhelming. By understanding why the mind clings to the past, seniors and adults over 50 can begin to recognize thought patterns, interrupt destructive loops, and reclaim mental energy. Overthinking is not a flaw. It is a signal, a call for awareness, self-compassion, and conscious engagement with the present. Throughout this video, we'll uncover the roots of overthinking, its emotional consequences, and practical strategies for breaking free from endless mental loops. You'll learn how to honor your past without letting it dominate your present, and how to use insight as a tool for peace, growth, and emotional resilience. Overthinking doesn't appear out of nowhere. For seniors and adults over 50, it often has deep psychological roots. Life experiences, personality traits, and early conditioning all play a role in why the mind clings to the past. Childhood environments, strict parenting, unresolved regrets, and repeated lessons about mistakes can embed patterns that last a lifetime. From a psychological perspective, rumination is a key factor. Rumination is the process of continuously thinking about distressing events or mistakes, trying to make sense of them or prevent them from recurring. While reflection can be adaptive, rumination traps the mind in repetitive cycles that heighten anxiety, stress, and self-criticism. Seniors often have decades of accumulated experiences to process, which can make these cycles more intense. Attachment theory also provides insight. Adults who experienced anxious or insecure attachment in childhood may be more prone to overthinking. They constantly replay past interactions, worried about judgment, rejection, or disapproval. These thought patterns can persist well into later life, influencing relationships with family, friends, and even themselves. Cognitive biases reinforce overthinking. Hindsight bias, the tendency to believe we should have known better, and negativity bias, the brain's tendency to focus more on negative experiences than positive ones, make the past feel heavier than it actually was. Seniors may magnify mistakes or missed opportunities while minimizing successes, creating a distorted view that feeds continuous rumination. Finally, memory processing in older adults can contribute. As the brain ages, emotional memories often remain vivid, and the mind can fixate on them as a way of seeking closure or meaning. This makes reflection natural, but it can become obsessive if unresolved emotions, regrets, or unfinished business linger. Understanding these psychological roots is the first step toward breaking the cycle. By recognizing how rumination, attachment patterns, cognitive biases, and memory processes interact, seniors and adults over 50 can gain clarity on why they overthink and begin to approach their past with awareness rather than compulsion. Overthinking the past is more than just a mental exercise. It carries real emotional consequences, especially for seniors and adults over 50. When the mind constantly revisits what ifs and if onlys, it fuels stress, anxiety, and persistent self-criticism. Every mistake, missed opportunity, or regret is amplified, creating an internal environment where peace feels elusive. For seniors, this emotional weight often influences relationships. Overthinking can lead to doubt in interactions with family, adult children, or friends. A casual comment may be replayed in the mind endlessly, generating unnecessary guilt or worry. Past conflicts may feel unresolved even decades later, making it difficult to fully connect with loved ones or feel present in social situations. Mood and mental health are also affected. Persistent rumination is linked to increased anxiety, depressive symptoms, and sleep disturbances. Seniors may experience fatigue not just physically but mentally, as the brain expends energy reprocessing events that cannot be changed. Chronic overthinking can also reduce self-esteem, creating a cycle where emotional distress reinforces repetitive thought patterns. Physiological consequences are real as well. The stress from constant mental rehearsal elevates cortisol levels, impacting overall health. Over time, this can contribute to issues like high blood pressure, fatigue, and even reduced cognitive flexibility, ironically making it harder to break free from the same overthinking patterns. Yet, the emotional impact is not solely negative. Overthinking also reflects a lifetime of reflection and sensitivity. Seniors who overthink are often deeply conscientious, aware of the effects of their actions, and capable of empathy. The challenge is transforming reflection into insight rather than rumination, learning to honor experience without letting it dominate emotional life. Recognizing the emotional impact of overthinking is the first step toward change. By understanding how it affects mood relationships and overall well-being, seniors over 50 can begin to implement strategies that reduce anxiety, improve emotional resilience, and reclaim their mental energy for present and future experiences rather than being trapped in the past. Overthinking often follows predictable patterns, forming thought loops that can feel impossible to escape. For seniors and adults over 50, these loops are reinforced by decades of experience, cognitive habits, and emotional responses. Understanding these patterns is essential to interrupt them and regain control over mental energy. One common loop is rumination, where a single event, mistake, or regret is replayed repeatedly in the mind. This is often accompanied by what if and if only questions, which create endless mental simulations of alternative past outcomes. For seniors, these loops may focus on life choices, relationships, career decisions, or missed opportunities, magnifying perceived failures. Another pattern is catastrophizing, assuming that past mistakes have irreversible consequences, or that one failure defines an entire life. Seniors may dwell on a single decision, believing it altered the trajectory of their life, when in reality, most outcomes were far less deterministic. Catastrophizing strengthens anxiety and intensifies overthinking. Perfectionism also reinforces thought loops. Adults over 50 who grew up striving to meet high expectations may replay past events, evaluating every action against an internalized standard. This creates mental pressure to analyze endlessly, attempting to achieve clarity or fix what cannot be changed. Cognitive behavioral theory explains these loops as the interaction between thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. A negative thought triggers worry, which triggers more negative thinking, creating a self-sustaining cycle. For seniors, this can manifest as avoidance, reluctance to take action or make decisions, further reinforcing the belief that mistakes are dangerous or irreversible. Identifying these patterns is the first step to change. Keeping a thought journal, noting repetitive themes, and tracking triggers can help seniors see where loops begin and how they escalate. Awareness allows adults over 50 to recognize that thoughts are not facts. They are mental habits shaped over a lifetime, and like any habit, they can be retrained. By understanding cognitive patterns and thought loops, seniors can begin to separate reflection from rumination. Reflection becomes intentional and insightful, while rumination becomes a signal to pause, reframe, and redirect energy toward actions and experiences that nurture well-being. Overthinking becomes manageable when seniors over 50 learn to separate awareness from automatic rumination. The first step is recognizing patterns. Identify recurring thoughts, triggers, and emotional responses. Notice when the mind drifts into what-if scenarios or replays past mistakes. Awareness alone begins to weaken the automatic power of these thought loops. Next comes cognitive reframing. Instead of, "I should have done this differently," reframe thoughts into constructive insights. "I acted with the information I had at the time," or "I can learn from this without being defined by it." Cognitive behavioral techniques show that actively challenging distorted thoughts reduces anxiety and improves mental flexibility. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools for seniors. Paying attention to the present moment, noticing breath, sensations, or surroundings, interrupts mental loops and anchors the mind. Even brief daily practices can retrain the brain to focus on now rather than endlessly replaying the past. Journaling is another practical strategy. Writing down thoughts and labeling emotions helps seniors externalize mental patterns, creating space for clarity and self-reflection. Over time, journaling can reveal patterns, triggers, and insights that were previously unconscious. Building emotional resilience is equally important. Connecting with friends, participating in community activities, and sharing experiences with others can provide perspective and reduce the sense of isolation that often accompanies overthinking. Seniors over 50 benefit from understanding that social connection and support act as buffers against cognitive and emotional overload. Finally, self-compassion is essential. Overthinking is not a flaw, it's a learned habit. Adults over 50 can practice forgiving themselves for perceived mistakes and allowing imperfection. Gentle reminders, affirmations, and patient self-reflection encourage the mind to shift from judgment to understanding. When seniors combine awareness, cognitive reframing, mindfulness, journaling, connection, and self-compassion, overthinking becomes a tool for insight rather than a source of stress. These strategies empower adults over 50 to reclaim mental energy, find emotional balance, and engage with the present with clarity and confidence. Overthinking the past is not a weakness. It's a sign of a reflective, thoughtful mind. For seniors and adults over 50, these thought patterns are often rooted in life experience, accumulated wisdom, and emotional sensitivity. What matters now is not erasing the past, but learning to engage with it intentionally, with awareness and perspective. Reflection allows seniors to transform overthinking into insight. By recognizing recurring patterns, reframing thoughts, and practicing self-compassion, adults over 50 can reclaim mental energy and emotional balance. The same mind that once replayed regrets can now analyze, learn, and grow without being trapped in cycles of rumination. Meaning arises when seniors understand that life is a series of lessons, not a ledger of mistakes. Each memory, each decision, each what if, is an opportunity for understanding, acceptance, and growth. Overthinking can evolve into wisdom, guiding future choices, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Hope is always present. Adults over 50 have the capacity for growth, emotional resilience, and meaningful connection. It's never too late to practice mindfulness, embrace self-compassion, or rewrite internal scripts that once dictated fear and judgment. The past no longer has to define the present. It can illuminate it. By embracing awareness, applying coping strategies, and choosing intentional reflection, seniors can navigate the mind with clarity, freedom, and confidence. Every day becomes an opportunity to engage with life fully, to honor experience without being imprisoned by it, and to live with purpose and balance. If you found this exploration helpful, subscribe for more insights into the psychology of seniors and adults over 50, where we uncover how the mind grows, heals, and transforms at every stage of life.